Meanwhile, at Hootsuite Labs.
Hi, ChatGPT. What were the best Instagram captions? No, what are the best Instagram captions? 1. Just living my best life one day at a time. No. 2. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama. I'm okay with this one. 3. Inhale the good exhale the bullshit. I'm okay with this one if your audience is okay with both yoga and swear words. Life is short, make every second count. It's a cliche. Finding magic in the little things is also a cliche. Actually, I think that's 2 cliches. The world is a canvas for your imagination. But what am I putting this caption on? Like a picture of a dog looking at a sunset? Embrace your quirks. They make you unique. I just don't think anyone wants to hear me give them life advice. The best things in life are the people we love, the places we've been, and the memories we've made along the way. I don't know if that one is true, but I do know that I had an old coworker at an old job who had that word on their desk. Hakuna Matata. It means no worries for the rest of your days. I actually heard that Disney tried to have Hakuna Matata trademarked, so honestly, that one's a little risky. Live in the sunshine, swim in the sea, and drink the wild air. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ooh, Emerson. I don't know. I would Google to see if this guy is canceled before I start quoting him. Hi, I'm Liz from Hootsuite Social Media Team, and this is Hootsuite Labs, where we teach you the science of social media marketing, how it works, and how to be successful. Today is the day when I give you my 7 best tips for writing heart-stopping Instagram captions. What are my qualifications? Well, I wrote this script, and I've written numerous unproduced screenplays, and a third of a novel, and Hootsuite has like 185,000 followers on Instagram. So listen close. My first tip is to invoke curiosity by refuting an idea. Another way of saying this is be provocative, but I am not encouraging anyone to go full edgelord. What I mean is that one of the easiest ways to get someone to be curious about what you're going to say next is to challenge a common assumption or even outright contradict it. So if I say to you, don't bother writing captions that will resonate with your audience, you will say to me, but Liz, you just said, and I'd cut you off, and I'd wag my finger, and I'd say, instead, you should write something that resonates with you, because if it isn't true to you, it's not going to be true to anyone else. Which leads me to tip number 2. My second tip is to be relatable in your Instagram captions. Being relatable means that the person seeing your content sees the truth in what you're saying and maybe even feels the same way. It makes people feel less alone. But one of the strangest things about being relatable is that you need to be very specific. For instance, if I tell you to say something that 1,000 or 1 million people will relate to, you might say something like, I don't like phone calls, which is totally a generational cliche, sorry. But that is not going to make you relatable. It's just going to make me sound boring. To be relatable, you need to zoom in and be specific with your details. So instead of saying, I don't like phone calls, you might say, I will reply to your Slack messages within 30 seconds, your texts within 2 minutes, your email within 15 minutes, and your phone call never. You can apply this principle to almost any kind of post you're writing. Just always try to come up with a specific example or find a way to zoom in and get more detailed. 99% of the time, being specific will make you more relatable, not less. Unless you are one of those people out there who do something weird that no one else does, like taking your shoes off in public places. Tip 5 is don't make too many typos. Neuroscientists say that writing is an unnatural act that has no specific location in the human brain. And as a result, written language is just a constantly evolving social and cultural hyperobject, especially on the internet, where using a period or a full stop will actually end your closest friendships. Fortunately, Hootsuite has a Grammarly integration that will catch all of your accidental mistakes, as well as the ones that you make on purpose to sound hip with the kids. Grammarly will also tell you what your tone is. For instance, here, I am confident, but with just a few changes, I can be assertive or disapproving. All of my favorite tones.
Tip 4, don't start with a blank page. I don't know if you've heard of this thing called AI. Haha, just kidding. That thing's gonna be sentient before I finish my novel. Seriously though, Hootsuite has a free Instagram caption generator that is so much better than the one that I made fun of 5 minutes ago. Why? Because we made it specifically for Instagram. So just go on over, choose your voice from the many options available, describe your photo or video in as much detail as possible, and then hit generate caption and let the robots do your work for you. And then run into the woods and hide forever.
Oh, and for the record, we have a super exciting AI writing tool in the works for all of your platforms, so stay tuned. Tip number 5 is to tap into a deep desire. Okay, so this is where we use all of the skills that we learned in therapy. What does your audience want at their most deepest core? Love, status, money, safety, immortality, self-actualization. Okay, too deep. What emotion does your audience want to feel that your product could provide? For instance, if you are Chanel, your audience wants to feel high status or affluent. And if you are Carhartt, your audience wants to feel professional on the work site and comfortable and safe there. And if you sell ultra hip vintage Johns, then your audience wants to look and feel like a trash clown. And I mean that with all of the respect in the world. In short, if you sell clothes, you're tapping into your customer's deep desire to not just look good, but look good to people with the same values. What I'm trying to say is that while you're writing your caption, think about how your audience wants to feel and do everything in your power to speak to them in a way that will make them feel that way. Tip number 6 is to use a clear call to action that tells your audience how their next step will selfishly help them. I don't know about you, but when I am chilling on Instagram, I do not want to do anything that even remotely sounds like work. I generally do not want to click learn more. I do not want to tap sign up unless I have a very good reason to do so. Even leaving a comment on something that isn't a picture of Kai the dog can be a very big ask. How you persuade your audience to act will depend on your audience. But since we just identified their deepest desires, you can apply those here. There are also some little tricks like offering a guarantee or adding a deadline if that's relevant. For instance, mentioning that your contest closes at midnight will probably drive more clicks than just encouraging people to enter. Always focus on the benefits of taking that next step. Make a promise. And also paint a picture of how it will feel once they've followed your call to action. And thirdly, make your call to action so ridiculously clear that it is very easy to act. My last tip is to, in your Instagram captions, don't forget your keywords or your hashtags. If you're wondering about what your Instagram hashtag strategy should look like this year, I cannot recommend my colleague Dimitri's video on Instagram SEO highly enough. We actually tested the reach and engagement on Instagram posts with hashtags versus keywords in their captions, and the results were shocking. So please go and watch that next and learn how to optimize your Instagram captions and hashtags for search and discovery. Plus, you will find out that Instagram keyword research is actually a very handy tool for finding an endless source of content ideas.
Staggering.
All right, that's all I have for today. Leave a comment if you want our next video to be a table read of my space thriller, Druthus 7. The 7 is in Roman numerals because Druthus is a planet or a giant dormant globular alien the size of a planet. It's a mystery witch. Bye for now, friends.